Today, so
Thank you, Chair. Apologies have been received from councillors O, Watkins, Marshall, Bowden, Wilcox.
Councillor Yates.
sorry.
Councillor Yates.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Right, the second item is declaration of interest for all members are in receipt of an allowance in district cases, district and county. There is an argument that they have disposable pecuniary income. There's a DPI, and therefore should declare and not take part in matters which affect their financial position. Further to applications received, the monitoring officer is granted a dispensation under section 33A of the Localism Act 2011 to allow members to take part in debate over any matter relating to local government reorganisation between now and the vesting day of any new authority or until the next district council election, whichever is sooner. This is on the basis that so many members, i.e. all of us, will have disposable pecuniary interest that it would greatly impede the transaction of the business. And that therefore, this dispensation is in the interest of persons living in the authority's area. So we're allowed to discuss this even though the district areas are allowances for them. And secondly, there are a few dual-hatted councillors who are also county council members and who discuss that in their other role, discuss these in their other role. And I think I've been asked to say that if you should speak tonight, if you are going to speak tonight, as district councillors rather than as county councillors, and you should be minded of any potential conflict of interest. That's all I've got to say. That anyone wants to, yeah. So then we move on to the substantive business. All right, yeah. Is there any county council or anybody who wants to declare other interest or a county council interest? We move on then to item 3, which is the main item on the agenda, which is local government reorganisation. We've got all the red papers, most of the papers in there, or listening to the briefing section. The executive summary recommendations are listed on page 3, recommendations 2, and I'm going to call on Councillor Bullen to speak on it to move them.
Thanks, Chair. Although this is the first formal council meeting on this subject matter, it will like that 100 meeting that I took. I'm sure many of you feel the same. Chair, I don't think it's hyperbole to say this is the beginning of a moment for the equipment, basically the sweeping changes being introduced by the English Devolution Committee. I think I want to be really clear that before we enter this debate, we do not agree with the government's top-down view that this approach underlines the very essence of it and disregards the unique needs of not just our communities, but hundreds of communities up and down the country. And I've spoken with the local authorities from perhaps almost every single municipal queue and across the However, we're not here seeking to dwell on disagreement with government. This is happening, whether we like it or not, and we must put our best foot forward. We're here to rise to the occasion and the opportunity for residents. We are absolutely committed to working together, hand in hand, both across political parties and across the country, to ensure that these changes benefit our residents. The paper, Chair, that we've got this evening makes a series of recommendations based on the date of the 21st of March, which is in about 3 days' time. That feels very close. It felt just as close as that 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, and before we leap into deciding which of our neighbouring authorities we want to form a new alliance with, I think it's really important to focus on the body that should help us as an authority, and indeed we're not many other local authorities up and down the country decide how they are going to form their hands. First of all, I believe we should consistently and constantly think about our residents at every stage of this debate. Our residents must be first, and proposed changes must absolutely focus on the interests of each other. Secondly, that local democracy really does matter. Local government should be local. We should ensure that powers and responsibilities are clear, accessible to politicians, as us, accountable to the communities they serve. Councillors serving on any new authority should have broad vision, small enough to be visible, accessible, and knowledgeable about their passion. Thirdly, that whichever form of unity emerging, that should be based on strong foundation. That any changes should be based on areas that share common economic with ambitions to improve and finally, importantly, that we strive to create better public services. That we will only support changes and really only support changes that seek to build on recent progress in efficient, improved services for our residents, where mutual industry capacity requirements are not conditioned or wide geographical area. Chair, we may not agree with the method, but we are absolutely determined to make a challenge set ahead of us. Let's put our best foot forward. Let's think carefully and deeply about our resident needs. There are a multitude of issues on this given local organisation, but that will be a proper change. But I strongly believe that when we put those in place, that we will be able to work collegially across the family, and that will be the issue that works for our residents. And that hopefully, dear leader in one. Chair, I don't want to be that strong in conversation. 2.16.
Thank you very much.
It's not. Chair, I'd like to second the recommendations and reserve the right to speak at a later stage.
Okay.
I'd like to second the recommendation, Chair, and reserve the right to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. So just following on from Councillor from the leader's comments, we too as a group not embarked on this relocation, but accept that it will happen. We do also accept there are some merits to the simplification of decision making at government level, which hopefully will bring. But I echo the point that Councillor has made. Our priority across the whole chain, that whatever party we are, affiliated with or not, this is the best deal that Schmidt or this company is the best deal for our community. I'd also just like to thank all those involved in the negotiations ongoing and the future work involved. I appreciate this is a big piece of work. It's transformational. So I just want to bottom level thank all the work that's been put into this. So turning firstly to local government reform, and then after that, the devolution again. Local government reform. Connection to the local community is absolutely a fundamental principle of the council. It makes better council, so that council is delivering its public services, it knows its community, and therefore a council which is close to its people is a better council. The economy should be cohesive for a council, and in South Staff we have an economy which faces towards the West Midlands in the main, which as opposed to the North Staffordshire faces in a different direction. And also, and I know what I mentioned from most members are practically against the whole of the South Staff's Unitary Authority or the proposal of a county council forward as well. So we support the recommendation for local government reform of South Staff's Unitary Authority. And there are various positives to that compared to other options. One is that local connection. Secondly, a number of the constituent parts of what will be the South Staff Unitary Authority are already working together. So there's a real opportunity for this new authority, Unitary Authority, to hit the ground running. Obviously, we have a waste contract arrangement with Tamworth. Our legal services are shared with, are provided by South Staff District Council. So they're a positive when we're selling positives that South Staff Unitary is opposed to another model can bring. And so that's what I was going to say on local government reform. And then on devolution, so the recommendation tonight is that there is no option put forward. As a group, we discussed that in detail. We understand the need to keep options open, especially as there are negotiations going on with other second-tier councils in the area and other potential combined authorities in the area. But our firm view as a group is that the Lichfield District Council, when it forms part of the new Unitary Authority, aligns best with the West Midlands Combined Authority. When you look at the economy and how it interacts and how it interlinks with this region, the travel to work dynamics and metrics, we firmly believe that the West Midlands Combined Authority is the best fit for the Combined Authority for the Unitary Authority which the District Council will form part of. And also, we do have some concerns about putting a submission forward without any option expressed with regards to devolution. There is a concern we have that there might be some loss of influence, a loss of control when the submission goes to government, if the Lichfield District Council hasn't expressed it. But we support the no option proposal for devolution, but we just want to, we put forward our firm view that Lichfield District Council now, when it's all part of the Unitary Authority, is served well and our community served well by the will be served well by being part of the West Midlands Combined Authority. So overall, I support the recommendations, and I would like to make one amendment, which I haven't made the legal aware of, and Councillor Wood will aware of. So it's a clarification then, it's not changing the recommendations in any to any substance. But when the submission goes in, the form submission, the final submission goes in November, it's really important, as it is a fundamental decision, that it does come back to full council. I would just like the recommendations to be totally clear on that. So members, I propose at the end of recommendation 2.4, it just reads, and such submission needs to be brought back to full council for consideration prior to submission. Just so that we as members all do have final opportunity for this very important submission to be made to debate and put options forward. Thank you.
Obviously, this evening it didn't need to come to full council, and the requirement was to, and it came straight to full council. So I'm completely gathering that this shape of debate is at this every stage of the way, and there is no way on earth that this is not going to come back to full council. So I fully accept the point behind it, but I'm just unsure to actually make the amendment. That's important.
Ray, would you like to press your amendment?
Yes, I would like to go forward. I take the least point, but I now move to the constitution in detail. But I think it's such an important decision. It's really important that there is total clarity for all members that we will have a final opportunity to discuss this before it goes off the final solution is off the council. And so I would propose that the councillor go to the second.
The second.
Any on this amendment for clarification? Councillor Wood.
Thank you, Chair. Second is finding the obvious amendments, given that we're debating this, ability rights, which are fully set, we need, and I want to make sure that we as transparent and open with all members, as much as we not we can, in the nature of the negotiations with our own. Thank you.
I think personally say it doesn't seem like, it's not harming basically to this. Yeah, shouldn't say that, but any other comment? Can we just vote all those in favour of that amendment? So that amendment is coming. Recommendation moving forward. Next we now move over it to the floor for any relevant and useful points to be made in this. Councillor Bryan.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to say that this evolutionary organisation offers so many potential advantages to our residents that if, and that's the main point, if it's done well, it will be absolutely brilliant. I know there have been comments about the diktat and the speed of the outcome, but actually the aim of it is to boost local democracy and local control over decisions and over finance, which I think is an admirable thing to work towards. The prospect of the sort of evolution that Greater Manchester has got being available to the people here, I think is brilliant. Control over public transport, strategic planning, even things like health. With funding that's needed to improve people's lives is something that we must welcome and we must work together to achieve. Whether it's hopefully West Midlands Authority or New Staffordshire or Stoke Authority or even Staffordshire, Stoke and somewhere else like Telford, we must work so that the people here get the benefits of this devolution, this control and this money. Creation of a unitary authority also offers great advantages to our residents. Staffordshire Council, in my opinion, is too big and remote and frankly failing to deliver, while Lichfield District, although it's improved greatly its services in years, it's not big enough to efficiently deliver some of these things like highways, education, adult child social services. Being able to have single points of contact for our residents must be an improvement. So many people talk to me as a councillor and they haven't got really a clue about the different councils. And that's a nonsense if you're trying to engage. Council that covers the population of 300,000, 600,000 will be able to effectively deliver these services along with the currently delivered district council services. As long as, and I think this is a really important point, the parish councils are valued and the unitary authority is set up with things like area committees that can reflect the district areas that there will inevitably be across a bigger authority. I believe there's great opportunities and I hope we can work together across the council and with our colleagues from other councils, because there's a lot to play for here and I think we can really get involved.
Councillor Trent was elected.
Thank you.
just wanted to pick up on that theme of potential opportunities. And I welcome what Lee said about although he didn't support it, there would be challenges in it that turn to seek an opportunity. And I would absolutely echo what Councillor Gray said, that residents, or certainly many of them, can be just baffled by the different services offered by different councils. And that has absolutely been my experience, even in the last week or two, about residents making exactly that point. So I think there's an opportunity there to simplify the structure and to implement the structure that works better. For me, the biggest risk, and it's been mentioned with operators, is that you end up with, essentially you take the local government and, talk about mega councils, and you're ending up with a council that is too remote from the communities that it's supposed to serve. So it is for that reason that I would absolutely support the recommendations in this report, because I see it as an effort to make sure it doesn't become a mega council. I agree with what others said, that Staffordshire would be too big as the unitary, or anything of that size would be too big to serve local residents properly. I do like one counter argument that I've heard from Staffordshire County Council, and I'd be great if the leader could possibly pick up on this point when closing, make his closing remarks. I've heard talk about the disruption that would be caused by having to split services across the county, so social care, education and highways, and the disruption that can cause. So I do understand that concern. I think for me, it's far outweighed by the points that are summarised in 3.42 of the report and the benefits of the Southern Staffordshire unitary. But I'll be interested in the leader's reflections on the difficulty of severing those county-wide services. But as I say, on the whole, I absolutely support the recommendation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Stratton.
I think that this is sensitive is going to be entirely different by being able to read my own writing. Can I say at the outset, I like Councillor Collins, but fully I fundamentally disagree with policy direction being taken, and in summary, the policy of the white paper appears to be one that is inevitably taking the elected member further away from the residents that they are elected to serve, which risks adding significant additional costs in the form of redundancies, re-procurement of case management IT systems, retraining of staff, rebranding of councils, and significant potential pension strain for those redundancies those under 55, which risks making it more difficult for residents to access local services without significantly rethinking this, when there is already a one front door policy for most councils, and which provides quite frankly significant disruption and unnecessary stress on officers who are effectively having to prepare pieces of work that will leave the potential losses on their own front. And so with all of those disbenefits, I'm afraid I can see at the moment no discernible benefit that isn't already met in achieving the works run, but potentially dramatically increased costs for residents. I can certainly see the case, and I think I have the right raising point of a large digital product that deals with things at a strategic level across a whole region, but a very large industry, I'm afraid I can't see the case. And so it feels like I'm speaking in favour of part of the white paper, but not decide it's going to address us here. There's a maxim of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It seems to be only big counties, large metros that are right. Here at district here, we're doing all right and we're delivering very well. And so on a financial ground, I can't really for this. However, government says that I must, and so I will engage with points before us. I would fully endorse the approach taken at point. For me, as a local member in any local government reorganisation, the residents of this authority and of the region must. And for me, a unitary authority, if it must be done, has to be small enough to be manageable and to be approachable, while yet being large enough to get the economic scale on the currently seen at higher tiers. We have to be able to deliver on our priorities locally. That is why very large authorities like county councils, with very little that unites the community within the county, etc., have a district tier development. That's how this works. They do, it's something we do local stuff, and that way everyone runs along together. And that is also why I cannot agree that a whole county unitary, or a county plus Stoke unitary, or a county plus Shropshire plus Pelham cannot possibly be manageable, agreeable, or to develop a priority me in London and in Lichfield. That sets us across the whole region. It's far better to people authorities here, but of course, is not dealt with here. For me, a district here or a South Staffordshire unitary has that local approach which is absolutely paramount. I felt that was served by the district here, quite clearly. I have also grave concerns by a whole county unitary authority, difficulty, distance away the residents will have. I would be extremely reluctant to see a committee comprised of councillors from Leeds making decisions that affect things here in Lichfield, and neither would I like to see a committee comprised of councillors from Lichfield making more than decisions. I think it just makes no sense whatsoever. Here at district level, we don't necessarily understand the priorities they have in the north. They don't necessarily understand the priorities we have here in the south. We are very different parts of the county. And Staffordshire is perhaps unique. And one of those counties, we're the north, the county of North Manchester and Stoke, and the south is Birmingham, Brighton, and other potentially even London. It's something that I think the government will regret when they come to live with, you can have Staffordshire as the county of North, which I don't think is necessarily met by lumping the whole county in one into authority. I got the very quick dotting without much thinking about them. Very happy with like family point and please go through it, but I can't put immensely. Councillors must be accessible, which means warding is absolutely essential. We have local authorities like Buckinghamshire, which you tried recently, which currently has 147 members. It's there to reduce, but it has to also make sure that its warding is appropriate and can fully understand the area that he's serving, especially if he's serving in Chile. Or she, I'm sorry, I'm driving me that they are serving locally. I certainly would say that on large strategic thoughts like ours for repair and patient across the region, then a large thing and do things. But on a specific plan, I think council needs to know the roads and revenues they're serving. Absolutely central. I cannot with great confidence see that happening on a large authority with a manageable number of councillors. Frankly, to be 147 is not good. The other is on the accessibility of it. However, this is all, it has to have local hub offices. And that's the attraction of the neighbourhood, as neighbourhood already has a very scheme, which we're doing here, or we're on the way through it here. That's the development. We have that discussion about it. But again, that has to be managed very carefully. I cannot see that working on a whole county unitary authority, and that is why I said the proposal before us tonight that I think is very well the literal edition. I'm pleased to see it's supported by the Martin Chamber with one minor amendment. I think by the Democrats, it is certainly I think best to go forward south again. I think it will serve the residents while still complying with the ambition that the government has there, and I will be wholeheartedly supporting the vote.
Thank you very much. And then have Councillor Norman.
Thank you, Chair. Just remind everybody, these solutions follow the organisation. So, those larger organisations coming down at a more local level. So I'm confident in these changes. There may be confident in the changes. I've been around long enough and seen how different changes over the years. And local government should take advantage and embrace change, but also local economic benefit from the proposals that are being made. The only change is still to the Francis Moore, the Agnes Moore report, Francis Moore for the Sun, thanks morning to my MP at one time on reorganisation. I don't recall when they abolished rural districts and this council was created only, my perspective, 50 years ago. There's been any campaign to really things moving on.
The GLC was abolished, being the thorn in the side of the then government. Some of the sitting will complain about that, that's certainly been a favour. I think that will be able to created, not this for certain plan, they had a man that decided not to have it, but they want to be working there. On identity, this is a little bit odd. We've all gone through ward boundaries over time. And you think, how can they put that bit of the ward over there into this part of the ward? It does make sense. And you can go again for numbers. But in local government, you've got boundaries. When I was elsewhere, I had 4 county boundaries on my board, right? 4 county boundaries. And you look towards Leicestershire as well as towards the West Midlands. In fact, if you live in Birmingham, you may vote for the East Midlands more than you do to the West Midlands. So these values and that sort of community identity, they can be built over years in my view. If you live in Kimber, you'll be a council in Kimber, you'll be making decisions on the county. I think that can be Biddle. If you're in Biddle, one making decision, having and stuff. And so the size of the authority to understand what's available, the understanding of what's available and what's needed in the area. Can I just mention that parish council will still be there? In fact, on my vote, the parish council will strengthen it. You've also got technology in it and AI. Nobody rings this council anymore. The council, this council as well, deters people from ringing you up, from people ringing up and that. So again, modern technology that makes things different. And I'm going to be very strongly in any new local authority, the area community. So then you get that now, then you don't have a chance to actually talk about the area, making those to the wider county. As far as I'm concerned, there's another chapter in local government. Parliament has the power to create and abolish local government and council every year. And I'm optimistic about the future. The local government is, I think it's optimistic about this is the way forward. So we're the muscle head on the using the facts, but I think they're always going to come to information.
I can't see anybody else.
So, does everybody else? So I think Councillor Woodward reserved her right of second half an hour ago to.
Thank you, Chair. Changes on company. And I was surprised when these proposals came forward at the beginning of December. But I think it's fantastic the way that the authorities across Staffordshire come together to develop a consensus within a very short time frame. So in the first 3 months of this year, this proposal was pretty much universally across the south of Staffordshire to be agreed by councils of different political colours. No change is not an option. That's a consequence of the result of the general election last year. And I'm afraid they rail against the proposal. They are the biggest proposals, and we need to respond responsibly to them. They talk about mega council being too remote. Well, I would say at the moment, county council is a mega council in comparison to the proposal that they were making from a certain Staffordshire unit council. In fact, the south of Staffordshire and the north of Staffordshire separating makes a much more local council than the county council, which I think will be a positive benefit to our communities. They're here, certainly for my community, Birdwood. We've had lots of promises for the county council in the past that just have not gone through to the extent that we're an invisible part of the county. So I look forward to new authority, new councillors making sure that they are addressing areas of need and using the investment in a way that truly benefits our communities. I don't see that local elected members will be any further away from their communities. There will be wards redrawn and councillors elected to those wards. This is not about getting rid of councillors or local democracy or district council or county council. It's setting a whole new framework for council to operate closely with governments and therefore strategic authority and be able to get the inclusion there. So I congratulate the leader and the chief officer and his staff for the work that they've done on this so far. I think it's an amazing feat that brought all of the councils together, really work to support these. These are beautiful. I'm happy to second the
Thank you, Chair. Just turning to some of the points that relate to, first of all, just around the simplification of the that seeks to simplify that, becoming, of course, we don't become it. And we start with 3 tiers of local government. We end up with 3 tiers of local government. The only difference probably to be slightly further away from the community that they currently serve. The point that Councillor Trent made about the disruption by the disaggregation, I think we absolutely shouldn't underestimate the disruption that may very well cause. However, what I would say is that our social care is currently a conditioned service. I imagine any human being would seek to continue that approach. And on children's services, they're already based on a borough basis. And I think while that doesn't solve the problem, it certainly makes it much more manageable for very likely to be based. Chair, I don't think much more to be added to this evening. Over to Chair Councillor Norman, that some of the head of time did have some wondering about local government. Of course, when he came to draw his boundaries, he got in a plane and flew over the country and ticked areas off on a map. And doesn't even feel that you want to do that, Chair. Chair, I'm pleased to present the recommendations that are in the paper this evening. 2.1 important things. Welcome the amendment made by Councillor Ray to get it in black and white. And of course, it's the council. I imagine that seven Chair will no doubt have to get more and more detail, more and more robust debate. And I would say this is certainly the beginning of the scene, and it's certainly not the end, but a long way to go. And thank everyone for their input. Chair, I move my recommendation.
And so all those in favour of the recommendations 2.1 to 2.6 as amended. We can see anyone again. Okay, well, I think I can meeting closed. Thank you.